The train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon.
Oh,
Welcome back to Sunset City, a Sonic podcast for the classic and modern and movie age. You got me, Nick, as well as our, I say that for myself and every voice in my head right now. Channel Pup, how you doing, buddy?
Hey. Yeah, good, man. Doing good.
Excellent. As well as Cirrus the Skeptic.
I wish that OBS wasn't breaking.
Yeah, we all do. Breaking my heart. And Wayne.
Of muffins.
His boss. Man, I didn't know there were Tails muffins.
Yeah, they're the party, they're the birthday cake flavor, confetti cake.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go track those down just to have a box that I really shouldn't have in my house. I got the Sonic and Knuckles ones. My wife saw them and she said she was still tired. Like, this is like about 5, 6 in the morning. First words out of her mouth for the day, and she just growls at me, "Why do you do this to us?"
Jesus. Why is...
So, yeah.
I am very upset. Why is nothing working?
I don't know, but I do have... Look, I'm watching you mess with it on the stream.
Why am I dead?
Because the only asset that I have of you on here that is not your reactive image is your tombstone.
I was... God damn. I was going to say, I had our stuff ready to go. I could have hosted the stream today.
You know what? If OBS hadn't blown up 3 separate times in my desperate attempts to get it working, then none of these would be here. Our reactives would be here, and all would be good. Everything would be swell.
Well,
Cirrus, I have sent the PNGs of Wallace and myself.
Excellent.
No, this is canonical lore. I've died twice now. It's taken me a little bit of time to get back onto my step. It's fine.
Also, Cirrus, you're really big in the frame right now. This is officially big Cirrus lore
Me
here.
and, me and
kaiju
Nick,
Cirrus.
me and Nick both are.
yeah.
Nick's
All
supposed
right.
to be big because he's a man.
Ow, you're a man.
Yeah, Nick, more like thick.
I do need a diet. But
Now,
yeah,
just,
No,
a thing,
wait.
a thing worth noting, off the jump, this episode will
apologist.
consist of 2 parts. Part 1 will be our Prickly Wickly Sonic news, as well as a spoiler-free discussion of Sonic 2. Part 2, which will come later today, we're going to have a little break between though, will feature our full spoiler thoughts. So, yeah, so do stay tuned for part 2 when you want to see the spoilers for those who haven't seen it.
the thing, we were thinking a lot about it. We were planning on doing a spoiler cast next week, but we have not been in a proper voice call since this movie came out, and we're all dying to speak with each other about it. So we're going to give you our fresh conversation with each other. It's as honest as it's going to be, and yeah, I mean, we can do other stuff next week. We'll be wanting to talk more Sonic stuff next week, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm excited. We're gonna get to the super chats from everything we missed last week. You know, we took a break off. I don't think anything interesting happened on the channel on
No?
April 1st. Specifically.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah,
No.
took a break from being alive, and now we're here.
Wayne, why are you alive?
I don't. Oh, god damn it! I thought I was dead.
So we
Yeah.
should probably let's roll through these super chats before we do anything else, because those people were very sweet to wait an entire week, especially since the episode before that, episode 50, which I still need to finish editing down. It was a little bit messier than I was anticipating. It did not go off stream the way we expected it to, so it was on for like 9 hours until Pup got in there and found what I couldn't find and ended it.
Yeah, apparently
think we missed the super chat.
when you end a stream on OBS now, YouTube is just like, I didn't see that.
That's ridiculous.
It's
Yeah,
very
I had an
agitating.
issue. I had an issue like that a couple months ago with one of my streams, and I just walked away from the computer. I was just so mad, just trying to do anything. Anytime I stream, I just have so many issues.
A friend of mine posted on Twitter, but like I use OBS for all my streams, but it feels like everything that my job relies on is held together by twine. And I'm like, yeah, that's how it feels. That's exactly how it feels.
Well,
All right,
we,
shall we work through some of
yeah.
these super chats?
Yes.
Yeah, you
Shall
wanna
I
kick
start
us
us off left for right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Otis Small sends $2 saying, "Good night, sweet pup." Oh, good night yourself.
How sweet. Then Jamal gave us $5. Always good to see our Paul Jamal.
There we go.
Happy B Theory Day, everybody. Milk Bro forever. Also, Nick and Channel Pup, like how Ian and Kyle on Bumblecast read your B Theory with Sonic question.
Yes, B Theory has officially reached the writers of the upcoming Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers. So you can expect you'll see some fucking bees in there. But to be fair, he said there was a logic to it. It would just be better without the bees. So, yeah.
I feel like
I'm glad you found that spot.
I feel like
'cause
at that
I couldn't
point,
find it.
wouldn't we just expect that any Sonic Frontiers delays happen explicitly because they're putting bees in?
Yes, that's why it got delayed by a year. In fact, they spoke to me before B Theory even made it on Sunset City. They were like, "Hey, pup, you got any cool ideas?" Oh yeah, bees.
Speaking of Frontiers, this is a little off topic for a second here, but have you guys noticed, thanks to Chowmix specifically, that Weezer joke is doing its rounds again?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It will never end.
The
That's
funny
like
thing
the
is,
second thing from this video, from our stupid show that is out there in the internet, and most people have no idea where it showed up from, and that makes me so proud of us.
the funny thing is, I don't hate Weezer. Yeah, every time it gets brought up, people tell me how much they hate Weezer. I don't hate them. I can't bring myself to. I don't.
It's a lot like Nickelback there.
I don't. I think a lot of Nickelback stuff's kind of pretentious, but I don't hate Nickelback either.
There's no way that Weezer has the same hatred of Nickelback.
Yeah, like Nick. I feel like if they were as well known as Nickelback, maybe, but like
they're like nerdcore though. Like they were revered in my age, at least in high school and everything.
it's one of those modern internet things. You know, it's cool to hate them.
Yeah.
Well, they found it amusing at first.
I don't
But-
know.
Well, first
I
they'll,
forget the rest.
Spider-Man. Are you doing
I forget the
Spider-Man?
rest of that line.
First
Yeah.
they'll find them amusing.
They found you
For a
amusing
while.
For a while.
I forgot the rest of the line. That
Yeah,
didn't
I'm
work
with
out so well
Gilly.
for me.
Yeah, like people hate I'm very confused at that particular notion. It must be because they're not Crush 40, because as we know, all music outside of Crush 40 is mid.
God damn it.
The thing is, where's the lie? Anyways,
The next
God
one is
damn.
from next super chat is from Ledric. $50 funeral
Thank you, Ledric.
funds. At least you guys ain't gonna pay taxes no more.
I actually wish we were actually dead now. Thank you for that.
There are two certainties in this world: death and taxes. And well, we reached one of them. This is like
We also got a super chat from Otis Small, $5. I called dibs on Nick's tortoise.
I legitimately do have an animal in my life that I'm going to have to will off to somebody. That is a 4-year-old tortoise, I think.
It will outlive
it will
you.
outlive you.
Oh yeah. No, if I do my job correctly, raising little Washington here, then yeah, he is going to outlast me. I
You
did
mean
also get
Yogan.
a little. Did also get a little rescue box turtle. And we'll talk about our theater experiences soon enough. But she's just
You should name her Nick after your favorite movie theater employee.
But anyway, yeah,
Get out.
she got like a deformed skull. It looks like she might have had a
That
broken
hurt,
jaw
man.
at some point. She's very, very badly raised. So like she has to be hand fed and everything. But
Who
she's
the
the sweetest
hell
little-
breaks a turtle's jaw? What could possibly prompt you to do that?
Just-
Being a fucking monster, I guess. I don't know.
lack of care. Like you can raise these animals badly, and it's going to show in how they're raised and like if their shell's deformed. And yeah, she's not a pretty turtle. She's got buggy eyes. Like her eyeballs, it doesn't look like they completely fit in her skull.
I'm sure
she's
she's
got the-
beautiful in her own unconventional way.
It
You could
just
call her
looks
Picasso.
painful. we're no. My wife's gonna name her something cute, I'm sure. But yeah, no, I love her.
Cassie.
great.
Cassie, short for Picasso.
God damn it.
Pup, it's your turn now. He's gonna
It
just
is.
name animals. No matter what we call them, it doesn't matter. He's just gonna have a secondary name for all these animals I have.
It
on my
had,
list.
yeah, like that's for anyone that was wondering. Jorgen's kind of an in joke, but what I like about Nick is that he does allow me the leeway. He has made Jorgen Washington's middle name.
It's
So
a funny fucking name. I can't help it, man. It's a funny name.
I just appreciate that. Most people would be like, "No, not your pet. Stay in your goddamn lane, pup." But you just like, okay, now it can be the middle name.
It's
I
not a bad
appreciate
name
that.
for a tortoise.
It
really not.
suits them. Like it just you look at a tortoise and you're just like Jorgen. Anyways, so Lederic, I've decided I'm going to pronounce that differently now. He's French, Lederic. His name's actually Derek, and he's French. But anyways, he sends $5 French dollars. Dibs on Wayne's video game collection.
I
What do
wonder
you
who
think,
has a better big game collection between you and me, Wayne.
I want to say you. You know what? We should compare sometime.
I would
should.
say I'm going to put my bet on Wayne having the bigger collection.
I think so.
I think.
Yeah, because Nick has a wife.
Bigger and better are not the same thing.
Wait, no.
Nick has a wife. Dude. He's
Nick-
got the bigger game collection.
Nick has a wife-proof room.
Nick has a separate bank account from his wife.
That doesn't mean she's not letting you spend it. That means that he's. I'm done with this. This is bad.
No, I've seen the things that Nick picks up.
That wasn't even. I don't know why everyone was laughing about that. I just decided to retire it. Anyways, Nick, go on, bring us in with our pal Jamal, man. Come on.
So Jamal gave us $2 with dibs on. God damn it. Dibs on Nick's Sally Acorn collection. I wish I had a Sally Acorn
I
collection.
love the idea that when he says this, it's a collection of real Sally Acorn, like the real person. Like, and he's just got a bunch of them. He's got a fucking harem. Of
They're all in
Sally
his cellar.
really-
It's fine.
I was talking with an older gentleman that was coming in buying some stuff at my store, and we were talking about Sonic, and he was like, "Do you remember Sonic's old girlfriend back in the cartoon show?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, Sally Acorn." And I thought of you, Nick, and I was like, "Oh god."
That's forever my
It would have been funny, and it
association.
would have been funny if he was like, "Do you remember Sonic's old girlfriend from the cartoons? Sally? Who's Sally? I meant Sonia."
I'm too close to Alabama for that. Anyways,
Buddy.
the next one we have is from Daniel Kimpton. The whole city's on fire. Well, yeah, it was Crisis City. We were trying to get to Sunset City. We landed in Crisis City.
That's the joke.
There were a lot
That
of people
was-
that mentioned Crisis City during
Laugh
during
now.
that.
I believe, isn't Crisis City actually Sunset City from... Actually, pretty sure they're the same city geographically.
Crisis City is another name for my fucking life. But not as much as Huge Crisis from Sonic Rush, which is my favorite. Just because the naming is just. We should rename this show, man.
Oh god. Is it whose turn is it?
It's Wally's
It is Wayne's turn.
third person.
Way past cool kid with $1.99. God damn it, pup.
I swear that's a catchphrase at this point. I swear.
Yeah. Speaking of, it's your turn.
Ty Cyan sends $4.99. Says, "Well, it's been a good run until Pup got you killed. Been enjoying your podcast while driving to school and work." Oh, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Pup was enjoying driving to school and work too, and then he stopped driving.
They
Now
got
we're
a new
dead.
guy now. We got a new driver.
We got a new train.
Yeah, by the way, you guys can name the new driver if you want. Because he doesn't have a name. He's
He's
very
Gerald.
strange. He's not. No,
Jorgen.
I want to leave it to the fans to name the driver of the Sunset City train.
Okay.
Maybe
I'll
they'll
throw-
name it what they named my snapping turtle back in the day. I left it to the internet to name that turtle, and they ended up with Cock Snapper.
I love the internet sometimes.
we're Anywho, Nick, you got the last one.
And that's Sony with 10 Cock Snapper
Asses.
albatrosses. 279. Being a Zavik fan feels like April Fool's every day. Well, good.
That's what you get for being a Zavok fan, you idiot.
Well, actually, in the IDW.
It's not
Right,
listening to
so-
it. Zavik has gotten so much more love than some other genuinely fantastic enemies from the Sonic universe. You're fine. You got your Zaviks.
Yeah,
Needs
like
a break
literally,
now.
like he's had more love than Mephiles.
Yes.
So
Not as
we've
many toys.
it's now time for our prickly wickly Sonic news. You fucking. So, yeah, first subject of today is Dreams Come True have released an English version of their 30th anniversary Up on the Green Hill track with an animated music video.
Oh, nice. And I'm sure that'll be quickly overlooked again like it was the last one.
It feels so
The last
much...
one. Who are these people?
God,
No, I legitimately have no context for who these people are.
Oh, what the
Um,
people with they're the well, one of them, the man. I can't pronounce his name, but the Mazza guy. He was the composer of Sonic 1 and 2's soundtracks.
Mhm.
So these Green Hill covers he's been churning out. He's churned out 3 of them in the past year. These are basically Green Hill revisited by the very people that conceived it.
Which
Yeah.
makes it even more funny that it's all just using assets from Sonic Generations that they've been reusing a lot.
That's the
lately.
I don't think the guy man is making that music. But I don't think he's getting on his guitar and he's singing and stuff. And he's sitting down at his Cinema 4D desk and then animating it. I think he's got a different group for that. I reckon.
I know. I just think so the 2 things I noted when watching that video, because I know you saw something that I didn't see. The 2 things I noted were, 1, wow, these Sonic Generations assets sure are getting a lot of use. The other one was, this is like a bad Hatsune Miku fever dream.
Commenting on the Sonic fucking song itself. So I really like the first version they popped out, which was like organic instruments. Then they had the second one, which was the Japanese version of this one that we got here, where it was a bit more video gamey and it has a lot of auto tune and shit. And I like it. I could do without the auto tune. I prefer the more organic instrumentation version of it, but I don't hate it. The music video itself, I just find it really funny. Just watching the Sonic Forces model do its absolute best at trying to crank out a facial expression.
I have emotions, I swear.
He just looks impressed by everything all the time. Like, that's his default. He's like, hey, that's pretty good.
I've not seen it yet. I'm going to have to check that out. I didn't know this was out at all. I just realized, like, I know there is some Sonic news for us to cover. I don't know all of it, though. Did you have a list in front of you, Pup?
Yeah, I've got the piss up.
Oh, yeah.
The thing I find quite funny as well is, like, beyond the movie, I haven't really kept that in touch with Sonic media for the past few months. So, like, movie Sonic is all I've seen for quite a while. So going back to, like, this modern Sonic here, I was like, God damn, this feels like shit going back to this after getting used to movie Sonic. Like, they, I don't want to start another debate about Sonic's design, but I mean, I'm sure a lot of it boils down to the animation more so than the design itself. But it's like, man, they could definitely afford to take a few cues from movie Sonic.
Yeah.
Blue arms,
Yeah.
give him the blue arms. So that
Yeah,
have shoulders.
At this point, I do think the blue arms are a little better.
They are better in my opinion because, like, you can't give him shoulders with the tan arms. It looks like he's wearing a fucking vest if you do that. So, like, if having blue arms means that he can actually have some shoulders, then yeah, I'll take the blue arms.
They also got to retire the way that they animate like the mouths on those characters in those games because it looks bad.
Oh, the sideways animation for everything?
Yeah, no, it looks awful.
Yeah. That is... So, it unironically, one of the things that I missed a lot about things like Adventure, and I'm glad they had at least in Boom, was the mouths animating from the front of the face. I didn't realize that was a thing I would ever actually care about until everything was on the side.
I would definitely take a little fluidity, I guess. Like what movie Sonic does.
I think fluidity.
Sometimes it's up to the side, sometimes it's towards the middle. I definitely don't like the 06 thing or like the sports games and stuff where they just got the mouth strictly centered at all times. That
Yeah.
doesn't look right to me. So
He's a cartoon character. The fused eyeballs, the mouth on one side, it all looks like Sonic himself. Like these are things that can freely move, just and have fun with animation. And I don't think the model does that. That's the greatest problem it has from anything else. It's just not animating enough. So
I mean, I'm also going to put it down to the fact that this music video in particular was very likely like it's cobbled together in like a week or something. Like
yeah,
the motion capture on the two Hatsune Miku looking fuckers was clearly very mocap, very much that mascot suit syndrome. There were clearly some reused animations from Generations in there as well. And it's also just like the way Sonic smiles when he sees the Miku lady on the screen. And like his mouth is like his lower lip is clipping through his chin. It's like the people behind this were either very rushed or they don't have quite the level of experience that like the other animators do. But either way, yeah, it's just like, man, you get used to the movie Sonic, and it's so jarring going to this. But like, you know how it is.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we've had our debates. It really doesn't make too much of a difference at the end of the day until Sega actually does something with it. I still prefer tan arms on game Sonic. I think movie Sonic's just fine the way he is. I think some of the proportions just look weird to me at this point. Whether or not it's actually better or not, I can't say. I think it's just too ingrained in me to like Sonic the way he is. But either way, whatever. I think we're all in agreement, as we have been many times on this show. We would like to see them do something with the model at this point.
All right. So, Wayne, you've been quite quiet. Do you have anything further to say on this?
Oh, on the music video?
Yeah, I guess. Or the song, just anything.
Not really a lot to say, to be perfectly honest. It was fine. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. There's just not a whole lot there to chew on. I don't think.
I think it's worse
Okay,
crime is
so-
existing.
Next up, then, we have Jim Carrey is going method for Sonic 3, doing a method acting performance as Dr. Robotnik. He has sworn to destroy the natural environments and landscapes with his new line of NFTs.
Yep.
I saw that little clip there of him just awkwardly promoting those stupid things.
He was
during,
very
press conference.
enthusiastic about it.
I'm really coming to the conclusion that as long as they can act, they don't have to be your best friend.
But yeah.
That should be obvious, but like the amount of people like on Twitter that are like, "Oh, Elizabeth Olsen is my best friend. I'll use pictures of her as my reactions to everything because I am Elizabeth Olsen." It's like, you don't know
Yeah.
this woman. You
Yeah, the
don't know
Scarlet Witch
her.
stuff has gotten weird.
You've never met this woman in your life, and
It's-
you're using her face to speak for you. That's so weird.
It's especially concerning considering this is a character that brainwashed an entire fucking town.
This is a character that brainwashed an entire fucking town.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how they tackle Wanda in Doctor Strange too, because yeah, I had a couple of problems at the end of WandaVision there, just being a little bit too
A little too easy, a little too clean cut.
It's a
Like that
little
was
morally-
incredibly invasive what she did.
It's morally confused as well, because like I kind of initially thought, well, maybe they don't know they're being enslaved, but then you see one of them get pulled out of it and like, oh please, we're begging you, we're in a living hell, and so I was like, okay,
I'm horrified by it.
that's horrifying. But then it's like at the end, like Maria Rambeau's like, oh, they'll never know what you sacrificed, and it's like, okay, yeah, she gave up her boyfriend and stuff. That is a big thing. But my God, man, like we can't, like how far can we paint this character in a sympathetic light? I feel like episode 8 was right for that, and the finale should have been right. Now comes the punishment, because villains have bad backstories. Like she's a fucking villain. There's no two ways about it.
I don't always need stories to dole out punishment, like universal punishment or anything like that. I do think it's interesting to watch a morally gray character and somebody with powers going through grieving, the lengths they would go to handle it. I think that's fascinating. But then yeah, having Rambeau in there just being little bit too sweet to Wanda. Like, no, like I get that this is trying to make a conversation about grieving and everything like that, but she also has reality warping powers. Like she needs a
She needs a
bullet in her head.
reality check more than anything.
I get it. It's like I think if you're gonna have your main character do villainous things, treat them as a villain. Like, and you can still
Yeah.
have a sympathetic side to a villain, or at least an anti-hero, but they kind of like treat this as like, an uplifting escape from that. And like, I find the Marvel shows have a really weird sense of morality. Like the whole thing in like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where it's like, stop calling her a terrorist. It's like, dude, she blew people up. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Do you think they're going to make a case for like, well, yeah, she brainwashed people, but so did Doctor Strange, kind of by manipulating people's memories?
True,
guess
but
we'll
he didn't
find
enslave them though.
Yeah, the different.
We are doing too much Marvel. aren't we?
Oh, sorry. Oh, God.
Well,
yeah, no, we should save that for another
considering that they're
discussion.
setting up the Sonic cinematic universe. I mean,
Wait, how
Yeah.
actually? How did we get from Jim Carrey selling NFTs to this?
I don't know.
It was the people using Wanda's actor as
Right. Yes. Okay.
reactive
Yeah.
images for everything.
This was am I being hyperbolic in saying this is probably the biggest and weirdest tangent we've ever gone on?
It was an
think
odd
we've done other
one.
ones, but yeah, I don't think that was weird. Anyway, yeah, I don't think we would have. Man, we're just dealing with all this small fry shit when we really want to talk about some things with this movie. Like Jim
Yeah.
Carrey. Yeah,
Okay, look, we'll get there. Okay, I think you'll be a little happier with the next one, which is the prequel. Now, I don't mind if you guys want to talk about this. I can't add anything. I haven't read it. As far as I know, it's not out in the UK.
I mean, as far as it goes with when I do videos and everything, like I kind of just squeeze as much juice as I could out of that particular comic. Unless Wayne, you got some interesting things you want to talk about with it. It does shift some perspective after seeing the movie.
It does. I still think Agent Stone is one of the most interesting characters in this universe, and I'm really curious to see what they continue to do with him. Because I think that the prequel comic kind of established that, even to Eggman's own admission, that Stone is brilliant. He's a smart guy. Now, Eggman doesn't, or Robotnik doesn't view him on anywhere near the level of him, but it's like this is a guy who's got smarts, and he basically just comes in and takes over this coffee shop. It actually goes into how he applied for like the lowest paying job in that place, and then he was running it and just kind of like walking through the steps of how he accomplished that. He's a good manipulator. Yeah, he knows what he wants. He gets in. He has the right attitude and this kind of like suave method to him. He knows how to talk to people. He knows how to use words to control them. It's interesting.
All right, I need to put this out there. I don't get the love for Agent Stone. I do not get it. He was such a quiet character in that first movie, and we'll talk about him in the second movie. But like the most character he has is from this comic book. And yeah, it's a wild, fun little ride there, but I just don't get it. I really don't. I think it's partially because like Lee just embraces it as much as he did. I just don't get it though.
I'll say this: I like Agent Stone.
I think
don't-
he's precious.
I don't love him as much as I love like Scratch and Grounder, for example, but I do like him. I'd say he's in the upper echelon of Robotnik's sidekicks for definite. I'd take him over Deco and Boko, or maybe on a bad day Orbot on Cubot. But like, anyways, I think people like Agent Stone, but that is amplified a lot by, as you say, Lee Mahoob or Lee Majoob. I don't know how it's pronounced, but Lee loving this role so much and embracing the fandom as much as he has. I think like there's a lot of love for that character because like, we're seeing this guy. He's been a good rep for the Sonic fan base in the recent years. So I think like it's people just as much cheering for him as it is the character, which is precious to be honest. But
I think for me a lot of it comes down to the fact that when you think of Eggman's lackeys, you usually get two flavors, or you get about three flavors of them. You get the ones that really just they do not want to be there, and they are constantly trying to find a way to get out of the scenario they're in. Like Snively, you get the ones that Snively, you get the ones that he's made, and so they're going to be just as incompetent as he is sometimes. Your Orbot and Cubots, etc. And then you get the fanboys. And we've only, to my knowledge, unless there's something I'm missing in Archie, we've only really gotten 2 fanboy characters for Eggman that have been his like right-hand man at various points in time. Stone and Starline. And while Starline is certainly more capable as a threat on his own, especially with the prequel comic, I think that we've seen that Stone has learned enough from Eggman to do his own shit and be his own form of problem. My main thing with him is I think his fanboyness for Eggman is fucking adorable.
I just didn't see enough there for this to be like this weird just following behind him. I don't mind it by any stretch of the imagination. I just find it fascinating, like just watching it all happen, because this comic is really the most character development he has. Like, this is the most intimidating he's been in any part of this short little franchise that's been existing, or offshoot of the franchise. So I don't know. I just find it fascinating. But that aside, though, what was I going to say about Stone? I don't remember. Oh yeah, I mean, this is kind of leaning into Sonic 2 talk, but like, I did love about this, though, that between the 2 sidekick characters, Stone and Wade, the character that you can tell they didn't really plan on like having him do a bunch of jokes or anything. He's just there to play off of Jim Carrey's just manic behavior. And then you got Wade, who is just throwing out lines left and right every time he's on screen. And
I love Wade.
He's doing his best.
It's just like the fan base just could not give a shit.
Yeah, I think that's sad because I love Wade. Like,
Hey, I don't care for him at all. Everything he said reminded me of the like, what was it, that useless Weasel character from the Deadpool movies? And everything he says is him trying to be funny and not being funny at all.
See, for me, Wade kind of, I was sold on Wade at the start of the first film, where he's like, "Oh no, we got a robbery." Nah, just kidding. A duck stole a bagel. I was like, okay, that's good delivery right there.
I think he's got good delivery. I think the actor has good delivery. I think he has just a natural charm to him, but it just feels a little try hard, both in movie 1 and movie 2.
I think the thing that I find most memorable about Wade is that he wears long sleeve shirts under short sleeve shirts.
That's the first thing I noticed about him too, and I was just...
It's precious, and like I've been known to do that sometimes.
It's Colorado. I understand it.
I'm literally 10 years old, so like, you know.
And I think he's in terms of like a foil for Stone, because we got to see we got some stuff, not getting into spoiler territory with those 2. But I like seeing him as just like Stone is the very, very competent, knows what he's doing, can take control of the situation sidekick. And then there's Wayne, and bless his heart, he is trying. And
then there's who?
Yeah, I think you said Wayne there.
Fucking tongue.
You know, if you have a stuffy nose, like a blocked nose, Wayne becomes Wade.
I was going to say, this is what's going to happen. It's just going to naturally happen, especially since there's pushback from Wayne. He's just going to one day everyone's calling him Wallace and nobody realizes it, even himself, and Wade will be Wayne.
No!
You're like, fuck Wayne.
I've noticed that, like, you know how you get shortenings of people's name, though? That's how you know it's their real name. I've been calling him Wally today. Like, that's how you know it's his real name, is because we're shortening it. Or I
love that you shop at Wawa, Wayne. It makes me so goddamn happy.
Wawa is my nickname in our roommates group chat.
I can't take the East Coast seriously. You guys have the stupidest names. Piggly Wiggly. I swear
I'm
to
good.
God.
You know what? I've been doing this in like several of my friendship groups. It's just changing names into palindromes, and so I think I'm going to start calling Wayne Wayow.
Goddamn. All right.
Well, what do you mean? God damn it, Nin.
We Yeah, I mean, I put out a video of the prequel comic. I think it's interesting enough. I do think after seeing the movie, it kind of contradicts a little bit of what we saw on screen. And you pointed this out to me, Wayne. There are a couple of like these not important characters that show up in the movie, and you have no context for them unless you read the comic.
And then they don't ever show up again in the film.
I hate when they do stuff like that. I absolutely hate it. I like having some extra context for characters. And I think the comic did that for the most part, but like when you dig into like Knuckles' story and Tails' story a little bit more, and then you watch the movie, like, but wait, you said this, but you were doing this in the comic.
Yeah. It's almost as if there were two writing teams that weren't really talking to each other as much as they could have.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. There are a couple of little, I don't know if it's canon, so I'm looking for continuity hiccups in the movie. We'll talk about when we get to spoiler cast stuff later today.
Well,
Yeah.
we're almost there because the next subject is shoes.
I think there's other stuff we can probably talk about here, but I do forget that it's been like 2 weeks since we had proper news to talk about, like all of us together, because again, we took April 1st off. But yeah, they did finally release Sonic shoes, and they're impossible to get.
Yeah. They sold out for shoes that are $110. They sure sold out really quick.
They are not,
unfortunately a fairly standard shoe retail
They're
price.
not total replicas,
No.
but they are near as damn it. And I noticed it's Fila this time, so I'm guessing that the Puma promotion's up, which
Oh,
might
yeah.
explain. Do you think that has anything to do with the fact that Sonic is now able to actually wear his shoes on merchandise?
100%. Absolutely.
Wow, so Puma were just playing hardball? Because I always put that down to like, the redesign, I guess.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that's also a portion of it. We don't know what contracts were signed. I'm not going to pretend to, but I do know they get messy and they do get complicated. And when they had to throw a redesign in there with that budget, I mean, it's clear as day, and we've talked about this before. But even through merchandise, the little that they had for that first movie, because they certainly didn't have the budget for marketing like they do this time around. Yeah, it suffered. It suffered badly. So I imagine with that redesign, they couldn't put something together or find space in the contract to allocate for Sonic having, screen accurate shoes on the.
There
little
was
product.
always that theory that the redesign thing was just a publicity stunt and this was what they were going to go with from the start. But like, nah, looking at like the merch, for example, from Sonic 1 compared to the smorgasbord of merch we've got for Sonic 2 comparatively. Yeah, no, the proof's in the pudding. Even down to the fact that, we've got action figures now. Whereas all we got from that first one was a fucking spinny Sonic, which had the ugly design. And
tiny tacos.
I do remember though, Pup, you got the first movie design shoes, didn't you?
They weren't actually a tie-in with the film. It was something that Puma had been doing for a little while beforehand. And I just got them in red, but it happens to kind of match the color scheme. If you actually look closely at them, they're not at all like the original design's shoes. Like, they're much more rounded. They're a different material. Like, they had kind of like this breathable material on the original movie design shoes, and it was very thin. What I got
Like
is a little more
shoes.
thick.
Yeah.
And also, it has little gold accents on it, which are actually closer to Sonic's actual shoes than, what was in the film at the time. So, I like them. I kind of just see them as Sonic homage shoes more than anything else. Wore them to the film. But I've also got my Sonic slippers, which are just his game shoes. Gotta have some Sonic shoes in the house. You know how it is.
I do. I actually ended up managing to order some of those Sonic shoes that I mentioned before. They're not the right size, though. I'm not a size 10, so they're probably going to just be display shoes. I was legitimately considering that first round of them to just get those size 3 or whatever they were and just put on like a Sonic plush.
You want to know what's funny is the size you've got is the size that I am.
You might have
wear them.
You might have a present coming your way if I can find a larger pair.
No, yeah,
myself.
dude. I will pay because like that is a lot of money.
Well, I know that's something you've been wanting, so we'll talk about it.
I
later
would
off
literally
air.
leave them in the box, man. Like they would just be pristine.
That's
like,
the thing. Like that's why I bought it anyway, because I was like, Nick, you're not gonna wear red shoes around anyway. Like, yeah, I just want Sonic shoes.
I know that the new range of Build-A-Bear Sonics, for the Sonics, you have to buy the shoes separately, which was initially a little miffed about. Because if you just get him normally, he comes in socks. Now,
That
the
can't be
previous...
right? No.
No, he does. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you. I'll
Oh,
send you
God.
Sonic's feet.
That's
no,
agitating.
No, but you want to know something better is...
Sonic
Ads-
feet pics.
I'm surprised that Ad Zinco hasn't bought one of these, because the first Sonic movie, when they did the Build-A-Bear promotion, if you bought him without shoes, he just had bare feet. He just had little blue paws at the bottom. And
Yeah.
you had to buy these red booties separate, which didn't even match the ones in the film. It's like, my God, imagine spending the extra for some shoes that aren't even accurate. Fortunately, the new one has accurate shoes, and he's got socks on this time, so sorry, Ad Zinco, if you're there. Like, you can't look at his feet.
You know, I forgot to mention this, and it's not technically Sonic news, but I did hear that soap shoes are making a return.
Yes. I don't.
And if they're coming back without any kind of brand connection with Sega, then I don't know what the hell they're doing. Because nobody misses soap shoes outside of Sonic fans. Nobody.
Sonic Adventure 3 confirmed.
Boy, don't we wish.
Oh my god. Oh, that's good shit.
Yeah, just imagine Sonic Frontiers comes out and they're just like with the subtitle Adventure 3.
Sonic
did-
Frontiers Adventure.
I did yeah, I was looking around at some point, and I don't know what it was for, but I was trying to figure out who owned gosh goodness, sorry guys, I'm still waking up for the day, but who owned soap back in the day, and I discovered that somebody was hanging on to them, and I just figured as an inevitability at some point they were going to be doing what they're doing now. I will legitimately be a bit irritated with them if they do not go out of their way to just fucking give us Sonic shoes. It's overdue.
Dude, Sonic soap shoes, man. Now, those are the shoes. Like, those are the quintessential modern Sonic shoes.
Yeah, I agree. They're the adventure era.
Oh, and
shoe.
Nick, as promised, yeah, check the chat. What you see on the right there, if you don't buy the shoes as an additional thing, that is all you get.
Yeah, I'm on Build-A-Bear right now. I think that's why I'm kind of quiet. But yeah, I'm seeing the whole thing here too. It's like they have a deluxe pack here, and you have to buy all this shit separately. So
Yeah, I
that's-
didn't buy the deluxe pack, because if you buy the deluxe pack, you get a ring as well and like a voice box. I was like, I don't need that. I just need Sonic, and I need his little red Pete's, and then
I'll be
we're good.
honest with you, man. I think all I want to buy is that plush ring. It's adorable. And Knuckles. Oh, they got Knuckles online now. Holy
That's
shit.
the thing, though. He's so much cheaper if you just buy him separate and then buy his shoes.
What's driving me nuts here, like I'm looking at Knuckles, like his shoes are just a part of the doll. That's it. It's way cheaper.
Yeah, no, for Knuckles and Tails, yeah, the shoes are just part. You want to know something funny I've also done is I've bought a grey hoodie to go on it, and I'm going to do a little collaboration with Tom Topics at some point and like do like a live action Tom Topics using the Build-A-Bear Sonic in a grey hoodie, and I'm going to literally with a Tipex pen write dumbass on it like what he's got.
That's so good.
Jesus.
I can also beat it up, so I can finally live out my dream of beating up Tom Topics.
I mean, to be fair, that's what he gets.
That's what he gets.
Nobody here a Letterkenny fan? All right. That's fine. Yeah, I'm probably gonna order a Knuckles though.
Oh, and if you live in the UK, by the way, because I've been trying to get my... This is not for you guys, this is for the audience. Anyone that lives in the UK, Evil Delic, or anyone that's interested. Like, I've been looking for, like, the Sonic movie figures for a good while now, and they just haven't been showing up. You can pre-order them from The Entertainer. So they will also be coming to Smith's Toys Superstore sometime around mid-April.
I'm so supremely jealous you guys have Superstore still. I miss Toys R Us so goddamn badly.
I miss Toys R Us as well. Smith's is not the same.
That's a shame. Well, guys, I think that's just about everything in terms of news not directly related to the movie. Well, I mean, there was Minecraft as well. And just a heads up, if you've not seen the movie, I've been told there are spoilers in it. It looks like Ben Jax is saying the same thing here in chat. So just keep that in mind. Should we get some non-spoiler talk out of the way of this movie?
I liked it. Okay, end of episode. Let's go.
Jesus.
I think that if the next Sonic movie continues the trend of slowly eking out the human scenes and having fewer and fewer of them, I will be more than happy. And it's not that I don't like humans, it's that I don't like the direction of most of these scenes.
Fuck humans. They're a problem. And I'm not going to pretend I like them.
I mean, if I'm gonna
Give me
fuck
more
anything,
Sonic.
I'm gonna fuck humans. To be fair, let's be real.
Well,
Okay.
they just haven't given us the furry girls yet. That's your problem.
Maybe one
Look.
bat. Maybe.
Sonic Movie 3 Rouge the Bat confirmed.
Did you say
Sonic Booby
Sonic
3?
Booby 3?
I said Sonic Movie 3.
I'm sorry, I've got a stuffy nose. I tried to say movie and it came off as
Right,
movie.
it's the stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's
That's the
that
problem.
Cyrus is just unrelentingly horny once again.
Goodness gracious.
Jesus
Get
Christ.
under the table, all of you. We need to hide.
Here's something that's always driven me crazy, and I do say this in my upcoming video. I was up all night last night, attempting to get my thoughts out. I spent all day yesterday. I had to re-record like 3 separate times. That static crap you guys hear on my microphone,
Mhm.
it ruined every single video I was trying to put together. I didn't script it. I just sat down and tried to give my thoughts on it. And I just realized, like at 5 in the morning, like what am I doing here? Like I wanted to get it out here because like, oh, I'm afraid it's gonna ruin my thought process or something if I talk with you guys about it. And I was like, have more confidence in yourself. Have a little more confidence in the people that watch me on YouTube. Most people didn't subscribe to me for like off the cuff conversations. People will wait for longer essay form things. So yeah, if some of my thoughts and opinions change on the movie as we discuss it, hell yeah, it's all the better for it as far as I'm concerned. And there's certainly some little things here that I didn't talk about in this script, which if it changes for anybody on Patreon, I have the audio up there. That I think it's really important. I'm excited to hear you guys talk about it. So yeah. But the long and short of it, I liked it. But if you're a Sonic fan, I don't know why you're listening to anybody talk about it until you see it for yourself.
Just, you're already going to go see it. You don't need us to confirm for you that's worth it.
The movie
Yeah.
was shit.
All right, Wayne. Obviously, we need to put you in a box.
No, I'm kidding. I really liked it.
So keeping things spoiler free, but also keeping things balanced as well for myself.
Yeah.
This film is 90% the Sonic film that you've been dreaming of, or that I've been dreaming of anyway. Like 90% of this film, I couldn't ask for a better Sonic movie. 10% of it is very jarringly there, and that's a problem. But like, so basically put it this way. If your film comes out on Blu-ray and there's a scene that I will willingly skip, that's just not a good thing to have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the rest of it surrounding that more than makes up for that 10%, that 10-minute little scene that just isn't good. It's nothing that breaks the movie. It's nothing that destroys anything retroactively. It's nothing that egregious. It's just like, this doesn't need to be here. I don't care about this.
It's funny because there's actually 2 scenes I would skip.
Yeah. Same here.
I have a feeling I know which one that other one is, and I have a feeling I might have talked about why I personally wouldn't ditch it in my spoiler review video, which you can check out afterwards, but I'll just explain it in the spoiler talk anyway. Fuck it.
Well, yeah, we'll get to those specific scenes when we get to the spoilers. I think we're in agreement in terms of like the ratio between good movie and bad movie.
Yeah.
We might be in some disagreement about like how bad it actually is in terms of the movie itself. I do think it's bad enough to say that this is detrimental to the movie overall. This was really really bad.
It's-
Look,
yeah,
the
it's-
parts of the movie that make you feel like you're watching the Garfield movie are the parts you probably don't want in the movie.
That one
Agreed.
bit of, yeah, like that one bit of the movie is bad enough to lower my score for the film, but it's not bad enough to substantially lower it. You know, like it's one of those things where if you took that out, I would go so far as to say it's like a 9 out of 10. I don't usually do like review scores. I'm just doing this for the sake of keeping things brief. But like, yeah, 9 out of 10. This score is enough to take it down to like an 8 or a 7.
And I apologize. This is the problem with when we're content creators. I apologize to anybody who already listened to my audio about it. My issue with the movie was these last vestiges of the CG animal buddy genre, if that is a subgenre, just clinging on for dear life for this movie when it was fully embracing so much Sonic in it. Yeah, those scenes do bring it down. But outside of that, yeah, regardless of how much you hate it or not, you need to see this movie if you're a Sonic fan. Just no two ways around it. It's one of the best video game movies out there. I'd say it's the best video game movie out there, period.
I haven't seen many video game movies, but yeah, I can confidently say it's the best one I've seen.
I'd say it's the best movie. Maybe not the best adaptation that's been put to any type of film, but it's definitely the best movie.
What would you say is a better video game movie adaptation?
When I'm saying adaptation, I'm not saying specifically movie. I'm saying like TV series as well. Adding that in. And
you have a very interesting metric compared to the rest of us at the table.
I mean, what is a TV series if not just a bunch of short films?
No,
it's a TV series.
It's a TV series.
Disney Plus is riding the line. He's got a point there.
Yeah, like
they're trying.
Not to mention,
tried for a long time.
Not to mention, the example that I would bring up would be Arcane, which is League of Legends adaptation, and every episode of that is just a fucking movie.
So I actually do agree with you, Cirrus, in that I do think that there are like properties or forms of media that are effectively taking the same the framework of a film or a filmmaking, and then just slightly different. That said, it is kind of for this particular discussion.
Yeah, man, that's getting a little bit too broad there. I mean, obviously there are better TV shows that have adapted video games. Castlevania
is definitely
it's a better product than the Sonic movies as far as
I suppose also the fairest way of looking at it is like looking at what type of video game movie it is as well. I wouldn't compare Sonic 2 to like Resident Evil or something like that. I would compare it more to obviously there's the upcoming Mario movie, which I think it would be fair to compare with, and then there's also Detective Pikachu, and that kind of stuff. Children's video games are a very different beast, in my opinion, to adults' video games.
I probably wouldn't compare this to say the Mortal Kombat movie, but I still think Mortal Kombat movies
100% would.
You would.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking like video game movies here. We're talking about the big budget.
Okay.
We're showing up on movie theaters, and we're representing what you love about this franchise and giving it to the wider audience here. I think that's a fair comparison. No, it's not going to be the same tonally, but
yeah, because it's definitely for different audiences.
Yeah.
So for me, as a direct comparison, if I am to directly compare this to say Mortal Kombat, I would say this. I would view the Mortal Kombat movie and the first Sonic movie pretty much equal in terms of quality. And I'm very glad that the sequel was not like the sequel to the Mortal Kombat movie.
The biggest
Mortal Kombat, are you talking about the new one or the 90s one?
The 90s one. The 90s Mortal Kombat movie.
Has a unique charm to it, I gotta admit, yeah.
One of the big takeaways for me with Sonic 2, that I'm kind of looking at it outside of the lens of it being a video game movie. One of the things that I think is one of its biggest strengths is the fact that I think it is a really strong action-adventure film for families.
Yeah. I am just as somebody who's been wanting, when you see any of these adaptations, there's just something you want to see expressed on the big screen that you can't really do in a video game, or they just never got around to it. Obviously, the way media has evolved and games have evolved, that's changed over the years. But the way I describe Sonic 2 in my brain is this is what I was missing from the franchise growing up in the 90s. We needed a big blockbuster something. And they wouldn't have done it correctly, obviously, but this is what I wanted.
This definitely feels like a movie that's of the time Sonic was, and definitely out of the time that it's coming out in. But
I love it.
It's I'm glad that it's less Alvin and the Chipmunks and more Sonic. More
Which I still kind of refute the first film is Alvin and the Chipmunks thing. Like, it has the same genre, but I would still say like there's a huge difference between the quality of Sonic 1 and an Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh,
film.
I agree. There's a huge difference in quality.
The third act.
I
Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
I was gonna say my thing. So with the first Sonic movie, it felt like there were two different people in the studio, and they wanted two very different things. One of them was a fan of the video games, and one of them was probably on the writing staff for the Garfield movie at one point. And person one is going, no. This is how you do the anthropomorphic animal buddy film. This is how you do it. And the other guy goes, but this is a Sonic film. Please stop. And it feels like that first movie, as much as I do enjoy it, it feels like a lot of scenes are those two people in the director's chair wrestling each other, and one of them dominates some scenes and the other dominates others.
See, for me, I kind of see it as like you've got the top-down exec, the bean counter types, and they're like live-action hybrid movie number 7. We have to make new kids' family film for families, and then like they're like, we got to do the whole live-action animated hybrid, safe bet, maximum profit, and then there's like Jeff Fowler and Tim Miller and everyone else that was involved in the actual production side saying, okay, we're working within these confines, but we're going to do the best job of it that we can do.
Mm.
And the outcome is, I think it's a film that is more than the sum of its parts. And I'm not saying it's the best fucking movie ever. I'm not even saying it's the best live action hybrid movie ever. Like, that has to probably go to Roger Rabbit or maybe Back in Action. But like, it's still, I get the feeling that there was a very earnest effort from the actual cast and crew that were practically making the film, even if it was a product born out of cynicism.
So if
I would agree to an extent, but there's still a lot of scenes in there. The bar scene from the first movie in particular feels like just generic kitty bullshit.
I really liked that.
I didn't, and it didn't help that it's like, I'm sorry, so many other properties have beaten you to this the punch on this slow motion, like high speed scene, Sonic, and you didn't do anything new and creative with it. You're just doing, I want to say Quicksilver from Days of Future Past, but it's been done before that. They did it in freaking Over the Hedge, like however many years
Over the
ago
Hedge,
that
I think, was the first thing to really do that, I think.
It was that or Futurama with Fry and the 100th cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
But it's like, that's been done to death, and it's like, I think about that bar scene from the first movie, and it's like, oh, he's throwing the darts, and then we have that one really stupid shot of the bartender who's just sitting there with her mouth open, and it's like, I'm sitting there like, can we move the fuck on from whatever this is, please?
I liked the bar scene because it was Sonic and Tom connecting on a more personal level that we hadn't seen before in the film. I like
the result. I don't like the scene.
It does it in quite a basic, not so layered way, but at the same time, it's like I say about Sonic 1, Sonic 1 is very much a movie that it had to be, but I think they did a nice job working within those confines.
I think
It
probably
worse.
I think one of the best things, or sorry, Nick.
Yeah, I'm gonna be rude for a second. It's been a while since I spoke, if that's okay.
You do you.
No, I don't really think quality really comes into play if we're gonna be talking about like what kind of movie it is specifically. I would personally argue that there's so little Sonic elements in there that you could swap out names and maybe the speed power, and you'd have a completely different movie that has nothing in relation to Sonic with it. I do personally feel it is more Alvin and the Chipmunks than it is anything else. I would say though that this is an evolution of that, like the movie, like we're seeing that move away from that, but it does feel like a little bit of Alvin and the Chipmunks and also like MCU light. Like we're seeing a lot of elements of MCU action movies come into play here for both good and bad. And more importantly, on top of all of that, they take the time to focus and celebrate on the franchise itself. I thought this felt like a video game.
Yeah.
I think probably one of the best things about the sequel, this movie, is that it is, and it has made me look at the first movie worse. This movie has fixed so many issues that I had with the first film. It made me look at the first film as a lesser film than it did originally because this film set the bar that much higher. And that's a good
There's actually
thing.
still elements from the first movie I prefer over how they were handled in the second.
I think the first film is the first film doesn't have a scene like the piss break scene in Sonic 2. I said there's nothing as like there's no low point quite as low as that in Sonic 1.
Mhm.
But
yeah.
the movie surrounding all that in Sonic 2 reaches much higher highs for me, and like as I try not to let the retrospect of Sonic 1 be tainted by Sonic 2. As far as I see it, like we wouldn't have Sonic 2 in the way it is today were Sonic 1 not executed quite as well as it was. They were working within very tight confines. They did a nice job, and it meant that when the second go came around, they kind of, as well as that, it's also, the lesson they learned, listen to your fans to some degree. Like when it comes to like Sonic's design, there's a comment on my spoiler talk video from, I can't remember the name now, but they said it's the old cliche, but Sonic 1 walked so that Sonic 2 could run.
It's funny. This is a criticism that I do not think anybody's going to agree with me with. Outside of like the new costume and a lot of the new tech and everything, and maybe a key moment here or there, I think I liked Robotnik more in the first movie.
I think I actually...
I don't agree.
Yeah.
So
I'll explain my reasoning later. It's mostly in the writing. I didn't like his lines as much in this one, or the way they were paced.
I'm kind of on the
needed
fence
less
on
of that robot bullshit. I'm glad he only did it once in the sequel.
Yeah, no, that shit was stupid. That was never funny. Like,
there's one line
It
from
was
Robotnik.
funny in Sonic 2. I thought it was funny in Sonic 2.
There's
The one time he does it.
it was funnier there. I didn't care for it either time, to be perfectly honest. I like that more than the windshield thing he did, which just felt like stupid Jim Carrey nonsense. I'm sorry, I'm not a Jim Carrey fan, but I'm just...
I feel like a lot of this movie was him going, hey, remember when I played the Riddler? Yeah, we're going to do that again.
Dude, I watched Batman Forever literally the day after I watched this. And I was like, no, man, no. The Riddler... I said this in my review. Jim Carrey is the kind of actor where he can swallow the role whole and it just becomes a Jim Carrey performance. And he swallowed the Riddler. He fucking swallowed that load, gulped it down, and showed you the remnants in his fucking mouth. In Sonic with Dr. Robotnik, he's not swallowing it. He's living with it, And there are times when he is kind of gulping it down a little bit. I found like, you got that a bit in Sonic 1 where he's at the doorstep of Tom Wachowski. He's like, oh, you're shooting barrels at the drug bank or whatever. He's like, and I was like, okay, we don't need that. And we didn't need the whole, give me a big fat break stuff. I thought that was a bit fucking stupid. But like in Sonic 2, there's definitely less of that. There's one, I think, fairly stupid moment that felt almost mandatory, which I'll talk about in spoiler talk.
Oh,
And
that
once again,
was fucking putrid. I hated that.
You know what
I know
talking about.
exactly what you're talking about. That was fucking stupid, and I would cut that from the goddamn movie.
But there's also...
I don't know what you guys are talking about, so I'm excited to hear what it is.
There's
later.
also one Robotnik line of dialogue in the opening scene of Sonic 2 that for me was just like, okay, yeah, this is the better movie out the gate. Just for that one line alone.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You probably know what I'm talking about.
I do think his performance was better in this one. Again, performance-wise, I think I liked him more in Sonic 2. I sound all over the place right now. Performance-wise, I liked him more in Sonic 2, but there was some of the dialogue writing I just liked more in the first movie. I don't think anything quite got the same kind of chuckle out of me as fucking like Robotnik and Tom talking for the first time, and they're talking about like breastfeeding or whatever, and he just says, great,
nice.
Rub that in my orphan face.
And
I'm just like, that caught me off guard. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
I tell you what, I would have cut out the rub that in my orphan face line and just had it so it's like, I was breastfed. It goes, nice. And then just changed it to
That's I gotta say though, I mean, like that's why I like movie 2 though, because it's Robotnik versus Tom in that first movie.
It is. That's the cool
That's the
have-
thing. I like
You
Tom
have
though.
Ben Schwartz. You have Ben Schwartz playing Sonic the Hedgehog, and he gets rarely any interaction with Jim Carrey. This movie fixes that, and
Yeah.
that's what I needed from this one.
Yeah.
Bluntly, I feel like I was just too nice to the first Sonic movie in my old video. I think it's boring as shit. I never like watching it again. I really don't. I think it's a boring, generic family movie. It's fine. They got good actors playing roles. I never want to revisit it. I think it's a boring movie.
I'll still revisit it. I liked it, but I'll say this as well. I didn't hate Robotnik's like black jacket design in the first one.
I didn't either. Yeah, I
But
liked it.
moving into the second one, I was like, nah, this feels right. We got the proper Robotnik now.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, the look is amazing.
I like a lot of looks in this movie, man.
It's,
I really do. It's so good.
I love the fact that we finally have our proper Sonic 06 Robotnik.
Another thing I want to really.
Hey, I feel like an idiot because I always liked Robotnik's 06 design.
I always did too.
I always
I'm not gonna
liked
lie.
I thought it was fine.
I like it a lot.
Oh
I think-
god.
I think his body's a bit weird and uncanny, and fortunately they fixed that with Jim Carrey in that they haven't tried to make him look fucking pregnant. But like, you know, that's the thing with 06 Robotnik is he looks pregnant. He doesn't look fat. He just looks pregnant.
He looks like I do when I don't work out, where it's like my frame is not like when you're getting fatter, like it doesn't just naturally just get rounder. It like shows up in clumps.
You are talking to a fat man yourself. I know how it feels.
But like, I mean, like I need to lose like 15 pounds because like the way it sits in my body now, it's just like weirdly awkward. I like just look disproportional, and it just doesn't make any sense. So it's like either you can either like get off the fence, like either go work out or just get chunky chunks and just get it over with. And
I
that's what I
suppose
see when I look at 06 Eggman.
So
No,
basically, what
he
you're
is
saying is
06 Eggman is pregnant with evil.
if you're gonna be a fat fuck, at least own it.
It is
Go
what
Go
it
full
full
say.
dad bod. Go full dad bod, man. You know.
I've always
Oh,
felt
man.
like such an outsider with like 06 Eggman because not only do I like that design, I think that's my favorite performance from Mike Pollock as Eggman because I don't
think
like
you need
his
to go to
cartooning
jail,
over the top.
Wayne, you
Huh?
need to go to jail. You
No,
lunatic.
I
No,
like it more
I-
there.
I
like
am
hang
going
on,
to
hang
say
on.
I like
I
him
prefer
channeling
Eggman when
Dean.
he's being serious. I don't like
this is
Eggman
Mike
trying to be
Pollock.
funny.
This is Mike Pollock channeling Dean Bristow, and I actually agree with
Boys.
Wayne.
Joe,
Yes.
I knew what was going to happen
Before
when Wayne
this
started
turns
making
out-
compliments. It was going to be, oh no, I'm alone here.
Before this turns into an all-out shit fest, I just want to say that fucking Mike Pollock's best performance as Robotnik was in Sonic Lost World. All right, thank you very much.
There is one. Hold on. No, actually,
As long as he
there
can
is
still
one scene.
strangle a Zeti, his hands are fine.
There is my favorite scene. One of my favorite Eggman scenes is the one from Lost World where he loses his shit.
That's the
I
one I'm
fucking
talking about.
love that scene.
I also love how soft-spoken he is after. He's like, my hands are fine. I was like, dude.
I
Dude.
will always take serious Eggman or Robotnik over him trying to be funny because I've never once laughed at a single thing Eggman has ever said.
Oh,
You're weird, Wayne.
You gotta
but
read.
also,
You gotta watch
like,
Sonic Boom.
I
You gotta watch
take
Sonic
a,
Boom.
I'll take a.
I don't think he's funny in Sonic Boom either. It's the
I
most
love it.
obvious, like, it's, god damn it.
Okay,
it-
remember, hang on. I don't want to.
I stopped agreeing with you, Wayne.
I don't want to dig up an old corpse.
Wayne's
and I don't
already
wanna-
here. We have a corpse.
I don't want to divulge any further details, but remember when we were having that conversation on humor being subjective, Murray, and you were like, well, I don't think it's funny. That doesn't surprise me anymore, boy.
No, I said I don't think comedy is as subjective as people like to pretend it is. That's what I said.
Well, continue
Um,
screaming at that cloud. Anyways.
But, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, God. Yeah.
We're all getting
weirdly enough,
canceled.
Robotnik is a character that I didn't really give that much of a shit about growing up, but like looking back at all these different variations of it, I find him funnier and funnier. I didn't like Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog when I was a kid, and now it is still just the same mindless nonsense for the most part. But god damn, Robotnik's so funny in there.
Oh, that is
Mike
the
Pollock-
best Robotnik.
Mike Pollock, oh dude, like just the range he's shown at all the different variations of this one character. Yeah, I love Eggman now. I think he's fantastic. And I can even I thought it was weird that Jim Carrey was going to be Eggman for the when he was first announced, but then like looking back at all the different performances, like sure. What are you giggling about?
The latest chat from Marshall Hamilton. You're being cringe, Watney.
I like that he went and corrected it and didn't change it to Wayne. He changed it to Wallace.
Oh, very good, Watney. Very good.
Watney is
Well,
boss.
oh, God.
Eggman saying Shadow's cool and edgy isn't funny. It's just a fucking obvious fourth wall breaking joke that isn't actually humorous.
Of
It's
course
just tricking
you'd
you
say
into
that.
thinking it is.
Of course you'd say that. You hate fun. Anyways, fucking while we are using the benefit of hindsight to retroactively shit on Sonic 1, unfair or not, I will say, my god, the cinematography in Sonic 1 was the definition of fit for purpose. Moving over to Sonic 2, my god, what a pretty movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they elevated quite a bit.
this movie
This was
gorgeous.
an action movie.
They got an elephant.
They got it. It's a really good looking movie. I still think like I was waiting for more shots to kind of I still think my favorite shot from like Sonic 1 was
Yeah, me too.
Can I get a
sorry. Okay, you know the I
Number
just got a message from work.
15.
Leave me alone. I run a fucking store.
Oh, I'm
the
grinning
shot
at
where,
you.
like,
Definitely the
Yeah.
audience's problem, Wayne. Thank
Manager
you.
Wayne. Mr.
I don't. I'm. Give me a fucking second. Jesus
Dictating
Christ.
your underpaid employees from your
I'm gonna
throne
mute
on
you, pup.
wheels.
I'm going to mute you.
You've had some
It's-
ups and downs.
With vicious kisses, pup. Just get it out
The,
of the way, boys. Just get
it's
it
from
done.
the ending. It's from the ending where he's putting the goggles on and you see Sonic's reflection in it, and it looks cool.
I liked before
Yeah,
that
they did look
when
cool.
when the Eggmobile comes out of the ring and you see it from the side on. I thought that was kind of neat.
That was a good shot. Actually, that whole like finale was full of good shots.
I
Oh,
was
yeah.
gonna say though, like, man, the finale of Sonic 1 is so milquetoast compared to pretty much all of the action sequences in Sonic 2
Oh
outside
yeah.
of that one little 10% margin. But like the 90% stuff, the real movie, not the piss break. I'm going to refer to that scene as the piss break. And if I say it's not as good as anything from the second movie, I'm excluding the piss break.
You know what's really funny, Pup, is that I went with friends last night for my second viewing, and my friend Lynn left right before that scene. I was like, oh, good.
You want to know something funny though, and like I'm not going to divulge details on what was actually going on the screen. When I was going to see the film, now it's quite funny that Suris was telling me, how into it his audience were, singing along with the end credits, cheering at moments and stuff. I'm going to tell you about the British Day One experience. The British Day One experience was the credits are rolling and people are leaving. I'm like, why are you leaving? It's quite obvious there's going to be an after credits. At least appreciate the pretty sprite animations. The after credits come on and people are still leaving. Are you dense? There's clearly more movie. Why are you leaving? Why would you leave when there's clearly more movie going on right now in front of your eyes? There's actors on screen. There's people there. Why are you leaving? And you missed the Zavok reveal. You fucking idiots. Oh, why are we getting bots? What's going on here? What?
Take
This is
care
the
of it.
second one, too.
Zavbot.
Zavbot.
Good job, Watney.
It's Eggman trying to come back to and pretending he's funny.
So I think the overall point we made here is that Sonic 2 is better than Sonic 1.
Yeah, it's a better movie.
I've been seeing now that I could finally relax a little bit. I'm seeing on Twitter there seems to be a divide. There's a lot of people that prefer the first movie over the second, and I think it's different enough that I can see why people would go one way or the other on it.
You know,
You know what? I would agree with you because I was thinking about that in the theater during my first viewing. I will say I liked it more the second time.
I'm going to what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to separate things into two camps. From what I've noticed, many of the figureheads of the Jeffrey 6 prefer movie 1. while the figureheads of Sunset City prefer movie 2.
I feel like
So
if you
choose
prefer
your
movie
opinion.
1, you're just wrong. But that's just me.
And just like that, we lost our credibility as a Sonic podcast for the modern and classic age.
I don't think so. We like the Sonic movie that embraces the Sonicness of it all.
No, I I prefer Sonic 2. I think there's a case to be made for Sonic 1, but personally, I prefer Sonic 2.
I'd say
having different opinions. I like
Yeah.
hearing what other
No,
people have
you
to say about it.
don't. You do not. Stop
I'm
lying.
trying. I'm
God.
trying. so
He's
hard.
You're
doing
so
his
good.
best, Poe.
He's
So let me
virtue
tell you why I
signaling
don't like
his
Mike Pollock's
fucking-
Eggman.
Get out.
I like to hear other opinions just so I can be reminded that mine's correct.
I like Sonic 06. Sonic 06 is pretty good.
So, what did you guys think about the specific characterizations here?
Yes.
So
I love Knuckles. There was one point in the movie where I was a little mixed on him, but I still was overall positive.
There were a couple spots I was a little mixed on what Idris was doing with the character. I'll just spoil it for all three of the main characters. I love them. I fucking love them. I absolutely adore these versions of these characters.
Sonic is. I don't know if you guys remember, but I think it was in episode 1. We were talking about the Sonic movies and how Sonic's character would evolve from like 1 to 2. And I was saying I hope he doesn't become too in line with the game Sonic being cocky and stuff, because that vulnerability is part of what humanizes the movie Sonic. And I think that's done wonders for that version of the character. And I was thrilled to see that has not gone out the window here. Like, he's still got vulnerabilities. He's still got weaknesses. He's not game Sonic. He is still movie Sonic.
he's
Thrilled
just
with that.
he's just a kid and he's learning.
Go ahead, sorry.
With Tails. Now, I feel bad because I haven't, in my reviews for this, really mentioned Colleen O'Shaughnessy's performance as Tails. But I think it boils down to there's no surprises there. Like, Colleen O'Shaughnessy's amazing as Tails and sits comfortably in this role. Once again, she's great alongside Ben Schwartz and Idris Elba. She absolutely holds her own. She's a fantastic Tails. So I want to correct that real quick. As far as Tails' characterization goes, we're definitely back to Sonic Adventure 1. Adventure 1 style of Tails. Welcome return, absolutely. The best Tails has been characterized in years. Dare I say, the best ever, because even though I love the adventure stories and characterizations, they still had their little quirks, their little mistranslations. And as for Knuckles, I think Idris Elba, actually, there's a quote from him, and I think Tom Topics was telling me about this, so if I got this wrong, you can blame him. But basically, he said that if Knuckles were real, he would put him in a shopping cart and he would just take him on a day out.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm right there with you, man. I would do the same. Knuckles is probably my favorite character in this. I find it hard to pick a favorite. Knuckles has never been my favorite Sonic character. I love him. I love him to bits. But he's rarely been my favorite. In this film, absolutely adore the living fuck out of him. Fuckles love the Knuckles out of fuck.
It's been some of the best use out of the character.
100%. This is the closest we have ever had to classic Knuckles' characterization since these characters learned how to speak. And I'm so grateful for that, because he is still a bit soft-headed. He's still a little bit of a smooth brain.
And he needs to be, yeah.
Yeah, but it comes out of a sense of devotion to his own culture. And I love that for him. And I really like what Idris Elba did with the voice. This is the absolute best that these characters have ever been done, in my opinion.
If they're not the best, in my opinion, they're certainly really, really close. They take a lot of elements from a lot of different versions of these characters. And we're going to have to talk about Knuckles specifically in the spoiler chat, because there was a spot in this movie where I was like, oh boy.
They've declared war.
Buddy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I am very interested. Man, we're going to have to get to our spoiler chat here very soon. But I will say, just generally, for all three of the characters, from what I noticed, it felt like they pulled from... This is why I felt like they did their homework. Not just pulling stuff out of the video games or quick little references to poses or crap like that, but like characterizations. Because I saw elements of Archie, Fleetway, Sad AM.
There's a very
And-
specific Archie thing that happened here I want to talk about when we get to it.
That's what I was alluding to there. But I mean, like Tails specifically, we'll just use Tails as the example here. Yeah, he is a tech genius and everything, but he also has that little brother vulnerability that I was used to in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sad AM. It felt like, like a fresh Tails. And Colleen has such amazing range with this character that she can pull off a Tails that has known Sonic for years at this point, like they're just brothers now, and a plucky young Tails who hasn't found his courage yet and just completely idolizes Sonic. Man.
Oh yeah.
God,
Happiness.
I love these little fluffy boys. Goodness gracious. And yeah, then Ben Schwartz, he really only got to play like the hyper energetic kid in the first movie, and this one he has to have different relationships with all these different characters, and they really let him diversify those emotions and how he interacts with these people. And I think he really pulled it off. This is the most layered I've seen these silly little cartoon animals for a very, very long time.
I love seeing our actors for the Sonic series allowed to have range, because I feel like in especially with a lot of the Pontac and Graph games, they generally don't have more than like two sides to them. So I'm happy to see this. It makes me very happy to see our characters actually like express shit. And I feel like that's a low bar to clear, but I'm glad they cleared it.
Yeah. God.
I like all of the rhyming that's going on in the live chat right now.
Yeah, me too.
Did we want to go ahead and move on to spoilers? Because I do gotta say, I did not realize how late into the day we were, and I may have like another hour I can actually chat today.
I mean, before we do that though, we've got to read the super chats from this stream.
Yeah.
Do we
So-
do we want to go ahead and just have this as one full thing then, instead of as two separate streams for time
I would
purposes?
still say
No,
do
we
two
should spoiler
separate
free.
ones.
Two? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just go through these real quick. We try not to have too much fun in between.
Yeah.
So it starts off with our resident yogurt mail, Ake Shoden, sending in $20 with no text. Thank you, as always, you yogurt mail.
And then we got our Paul Jamal with $5. Happy Bee Theory, Nick Milk, and Cirrus Milk, a Milk Bro. Also, congratulations on the 110K subscribers, Nick. Oh, thank you. And the 78K subscribers, Channel Pup 2.
Wait, I was 77 yesterday. Is this a mistype? If not, I'm excited. Don't let
No,
me down
thank
here,
you.
Jamal. I'm just giving over the
Thank you,
idea.
Jamal. And fuck you, Wayne and Cirrus.
It's
You piece of
77.1. Never mind, but
yeah.
I appreciate the optimism.
Don't worry.
You don't
Me and Wayne.
deserve love.
Me and
or
Wayne will
support.
move out of stagnation eventually.
Yeah.
We'll manage it. We got
Maybe it's
this.
because we keep on top of calling him our pal Jamal, whereas to you guys he's just fucking Jamal.
Uh-huh. I'm sure that's the exact reason. Anyways, Aiden F said for $5, I cried tears of joy when I saw Big the Cat announce the Freedom Fights Initiative. Me too. Dear, you know what? I understand that
So
he's got it.
I'm gonna. I need to say this, and it's not a spoiler because it's not in the movie, but we had a quick little joke between all of us here, like in our DMs, where Pup did something similar, like, "Wow, I can't believe Sally Acorn did this and this," and I was like, "Dude, like low key, I was kind of hoping they would do something with the Freedom Fighters," and then Pup was just like, "Dude, it's better to rip this Band-Aid off now."
I remember being much more of a dick about it than that. I remember being like,
I thought it
Oh,
was super funny.
screw you for expecting this thing that was absolutely never promised and was always unlikely.
Pup, I think
No,
if there's
it's
one
like, yeah,
thing
it was
we've
like
learned.
never likely, but you did say something like it's better that you know now, and I thought that was just the funniest thing.
If
Actually,
there's
no, yeah, I did say that, didn't I? Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, go on, sir.
if there's one thing that I've learned, Pup, it's that we view you much more positively than you view yourself.
Oh, that's a wholesome moment, man. Thank you.
Now
And
go make
not
me
wrong.
a fucking sandwich.
Yeah, of course, mate.
Dude,
What do
I
you
want
want?
a sandwich. I want a sandwich.
Okay, boys, what do you want in your sandwiches and what kind of
I-
bread?
Or you want like ham and cheese, or like you want like something more grilled?
Bacon and chicken.
Wayne, go ahead and
get the
grab the
fit.
next
Wayne
one.
Wayne totally has the crust. cut
Boys,
off
when
his
I
bread.
finally get you flown over here, I'm going to cook you just the most delicious. I've been making some dishes recently, and they've been fantastic. It's not my own recipes. I've just been following Joshua Weissman because his channel is amazing and his recipes are phenomenal. But I made one of his rice bowls. Oh, so good.
I do
Oh,
like
my
a good rice bowl.
Sandwiches.
God,
Or
that
raw.
delivery was straight out of Meat Canyon.
Right, let's
I'll
go,
give you
Wallace.
Meat Canyon, baby.
Oh, damn.
We got Impossible Lizard with $20. I can't get over how good that movie was. So happy there's good Sonic media for people to get into. For those like Pup who don't read IDW, love you guys.
Hey, actually, I'll have you know, I've been reading the comics recently. I've really been enjoying the Court of Owls. I'm up to the bit where Batman gets trapped in the labyrinth.
You know, Pup,
Mm.
you are basically reading a recreation of Sonic 2 right now. Owls, mazes. That was a good joke. Fuck you guys.
Go back to Labyrinth Zone.
Oh, ha 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 ha! Go back to bed, old man.
That was a good joke. That was a good joke.
Go back to the country that you came from.
Who's
What?
next? Is it your turn, Pup?
It's Pup's
is.
turn.
I think it is.
Boaton sends $5, says, "Hello, boys. I finally acquired a giant gavel. I will not say why or how. I will only blame Nick. What crimes should I commit with this 2-foot gavel?
I
Just
can confirm that this was my fault.
Become the judge, the jury, and the executioner."
You will
So I got
become
this
the
ad
Joker.
On Facebook for this website where they just sell you oversized versions of regular things. That is it. That's the entire store.
Foreskin?
And I
It's just a sleeping bag, Matt.
and I sent the link over to my Discord. I was like, I'm not buying any of this stuff, but man, this is great. And Boaton, they found it, and they were like, oh, I'm getting a gavel. Like, what do you want a gavel? And then like a week later, they posted a picture or like even a video just holding the gavel and just yelling something. So I'm not going to give you any advice for what crimes to commit because after seeing that video, Boaton, I'm fully convinced you will commit that crime, and I will not be an accessory to whatever deviant nonsense you're up to.
You are the
That is-
living embodiment of Be Gay Do Crime.
That is so Boaton, though. I gotta respect it. That is the most Boaton thing I've heard.
Yeah, it really is. If there was a giant rubber chicken, dude, I'd be on top of that though.
Oh,
Really.
dude, same.
Of course you would top a giant rubber chicken.
Reword that. Yeah, I was about to say, man's gonna get some eggs down his urethra.
Dude, there's like Sonic dresses up his place like I do mine. He has a rubber chicken in his
Yeah,
house.
but are you gonna get on top of it and show the
Make it
chicken, you know,
squeak?
they say? Caw-caw!
I got a green one, and then I eventually just gave it to my dog. So I was like, I need to calm myself down. And the noises those things make, man. Oh my god.
They're from hell.
They are. It sounds like you're actually murdering a toy. I never believed toys were real after watching all 4 Toy Story movies, but after choking that chicken.
Nick,
I'm-
just fucking read Smacko, okay?
all right.
All right.
Mecco with his 5 penises. You guys gonna do a spoiler cast because I need to know what was said to Nick on that fateful day. We'll get to it. We'll
Coming
gotta-
up after the break.
Yeah, I'm about to see the movie. Fan wish. Oh, awesome, Trey. Have fun, buddy.
I love Trey.
I do too. It's your turn though, Cyrus.
It is my turn. From the Super Guy 55. Hope you guys enjoyed the movie. Thank you for the £5, by the way. Personally, found it to be average, had plot and character problems. The Sonic OVA is still the best Sonic movie, in my opinion.
I respect it. I disagree, but I respect the love for Sonic OVA.
Kind of where
Yep.
I'm at as well. Like, I
Yep.
don't agree with the take, but you know what? I do go back and rewatch that movie a lot. So
It's fun. But it's an OVA. It's not a Hollywood blockbuster. So
Coming in, Watney.
Oh God. All right. Fucking damn it. We're at Otis Small. Yeah. Otis Small.
Yep.
$10. Glad you guys made a full recovery. I didn't get to run my theory by you guys. Surge just so happens to be a clone of Sonic with electrical powers. Could this be a reference to Sonichu?
Can she zap to
No.
the extreme? Now that's the question.
No, I would imagine Ian Flynn is aware of Sonic Chew. I don't think anybody's going to be touching that particular subject with a 20-foot pole, though.
I don't even think that's a serious question. But the writers of Sonic Boom actually acknowledged Sonichu.
That's true. That's
and
right.
I don't just mean in the show either, because that was a subtle nod to Chris Chan. But on Twitter, one of the main writers of Sonic Boom, I think, posted like, "Guys, I'm gonna really need you to stop sending me your fan fictions and asking me to make them canon. They can't be for legal reasons. However, all Sonichu comics are canon."
Buddy, oh boy, oh.
Everything has aged so badly since the
Yeah.
incident.
Anyways,
Let's
the next
move on.
one.
Is it me?
So whose turn
Okay.
is it? Is it Bo?
Otis Small sends a $5 this time. Thank you, Otis. You're being very generous, as always. Is the porno is the
Oh my god.
I need to get laid, man. Is the promo comic they're offering in theaters a different thing from the prequel comic? I didn't get one.
It's the first IDW issue.
Yep.
That's all it is. The different cover.
Kind of like what they did with the Batman with the bloody long Halloween.
Yeah, unless
Blue
you're an obsessive
Justice.
collector that just wanted this variation cover, you're not missing anything with that.
All right, Nick, you're up.
Okay. Sergio, there is one down here, guys, just so you are aware, from Otis as well at the end there. I'd like to save that for our spoiler podcast, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Heard.
All right, but Sergio sent us 5 video game coins. I like Agent Stone because he's just too real. Zero cartooniness, straight from the real world. It's a good contrast. Yeah, I mean, I understand the point of the character. I just found it fascinating that they didn't really give him a lot for that first movie, but the fan base just rallied around this character. I just didn't get it. It's just fascinating to me. It's not to talk shit about Stone whatsoever. I liked him fine. I certainly love Lee on Twitter. I think he's a fun dude.
Rally for Stone.
I just caught it surprise.
I really got to ask. Do you know what that symbol next to the 5 there is, Nick?
I genuinely don't.
It's a euro.
Well, I'll
Nah.
be sure to forget that by next week.
Now, you know, I don't get it with Americans. Like, how come you guys don't know your symbols? Like,
Because
we
we
don't
just
have to
we
deal
don't
with it.
deal with it.
we don't deal with it either. We don't have euros. Anyways, Cyrus, you're up.
Next one we have is from Boaton. Thank you very much for the $5. Sega will do anything but make Sonic's shows readily available. Yeah.
You mean this was sent during the shoe discussion? So I'm wondering if they meant shoe or if I'm just being
I
a
think
patronizing
so. Yeah,
dickhead.
I was being very confused because I just bought I got Sonic Boom, Sonic X, and Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog all on Blu-ray in the mail just last
I
week.
mean, I'll say this: Sonic Boom is not very readily available in the UK. Like, you can watch
And
the
that is a
first
shame.
season on Netflix. You can watch the 2 seasons on Now TV, but they're chipmunked because Now TV is a fucking embarrassment.
You guys
Fucking.
don't have a Blu-ray release over there?
I don't think we got a Blu-ray release of Sonic X. I have just ordered a Blu-ray of Sonic Boom. It's the one with the drawn cover to it, but it is coming from America. It is just fortunate that Blu-rays don't
Ew.
happen to be What do you mean, ew? What do you mean, ew? Come on, you're gonna
Ew, America.
you're gonna say shit like that? Oh, okay. I mean, it doesn't
it's
bother
fine.
me, man.
Doesn't
fucking
bother
kill
us
you,
either.
Mike.
We live here.
Well, let's carry on because we do have to get some other stuff done.
Yeah, so that
today.
me and Slugger over here can play some baseball at night. Let's do this.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
Probably.
Okay. From Zerbin? Zerbin? With 50 was this the
Canadian Hogfoot.
that is not what that is. That is not what that is.
It is what it is now.
Chunky hunky fucker.
Oh, I know this one. This is the Swiss franc.
I
That's
could
a
have said
Swiss
chunky
franc.
hunky funky. Oh
Yeah.
man.
God damn it. With 50 francs, glad to catch you live. Watched the movie last week. Loved it. I love Knuckles so much. You're right, because he is a good boy.
And yeah, that next one is the one we're saving for the spoiler talk, right?
Yes. And
Okay.
speaking of guys, we should probably just zip this up here. If you want to join us, I apologize that we're making you move, but it is important. We do clearly have people here in the chat that have not seen the movie yet. And for whatever ludicrous reason, they wanted our general opinions. So we're going to move over there and we're going to get into the nitty gritty with the movie itself. So do not follow us over there if you've not seen the movie. But yeah.
All right,
We'll catch you
bye.
See everyone over there.
Not everyone, some of them